What's up everybody, it's Cjplays here, and today I'm gonna be re-ranking the Sims 3 DLC. So I've done this a long time ago on my channel where I ranked the expansion packs, then I did a video where I ranked the stuff packs, and I kinda just want to do an updated video where I just rank both of them together, because I'm pretty sure a lot of my opinions have changed since those videos. Also, they're really old, so I kinda just wanted to make something a little bit more updated, and a lot of y'all really seem to like when I rank stuff, so why don't we just go ahead and get into it? So I want to say this before we even get started. This is just going to be my opinion, y'all. You can feel free to have your own opinion down below. We can talk about it. Let's just keep it cordial, keep it classy, okay? So first up, we should probably rank the base game because you really can't play The Sims 3 if you don't have at least the base game installed. So, you know, this has to be an S tier, but I will say this about the base game. It is very well made. I love the gameplay systems. Sunset Valley is not my favorite world, but it is good enough. I like it for what it is. I like the Sims that live there. It's pretty good. Next up, we have 70s, 80s, and 90s stuff. I'm gonna put this, y'all, in the S tier. I love 70s, 80s, and 90s. It's one of my favorite stuff packs. It was just one of the ones that I had to get when I was getting all the packs. And I'm a 90s kid if you didn't know, so I love anything that reminds me of the 90s and or the 80s or something like that. It's kind of cool though because you can kind of like role play or pretend that you're living back in those times and stuff. And I really just like anything that kind of adds to that aesthetic. I really like that big boombox that come with it and those flashing light panels that you can put on the wall and the dance floor. Like there's a lot of cool objects with this pack. One of my favorites personally, so I'm gonna put this one in the S tier. Moving on, we have Ambitions. Y'all, this is also another S tier pack, okay? I feel like if you're just getting The Sims 3 or you're going back and you're buying packs and stuff like that, this would be one of the first ones I bought because Ambitions adds so many more careers to the game. Not only are there more careers, they're all active, meaning your Sims can actually do them and you can go to work with them, you can see them do it. Firefighter and Ghost Hunter have got to be my favorite. I like the Investigator one, and I also do like the Stylist one, and I also like the Architectural Design one, meaning you can have your Sims like go to other Sims houses and like remake rooms and stuff and like furnish it. I love that kind of thing. This one is probably like my second favorite one, only behind Supernatural. This is a must-have in my opinion for any simmer. Twinbrook is also kind of cool too, the world that it comes with. It's really nice. It kind of has like a nice little swampy area, so it's really cool. I would definitely say buy this pack, y'all. One of my favorites. Next up, we have Diesel stuff. I'm gonna put Diesel in A tier. The only reason why it's not in S tier is because there's a couple of items that you really can't recolor. For example, there's this table that has this stencil on it, like this little design, and you can't recolor it. You can't change it. You can't take it away. However, what really does redeem this pack for me is the fact that there's so many good jeans in this pack, especially for male Sims. Like, y'all know, a lot of the times male Sims get the short end of the stick. There's not a lot of good stuff, and the stuff that we get is like suits or, you know, like t-shirts. Okay, I guess, but we could always use more. And I feel like Diesel really delivered with just a lot of good, like, clothing items. The furniture items are kind of cool. A lot of them look like custom content, like the couch that comes with that set. It really looks like CC. Even the jeans, now that I'm thinking about it, look like custom content, but it's not. Listen, I love this pack, okay? I'm going to put this in the A tier. So next up, we have Fastlane stuff. This one is going to go in the A tier as well. I love this pack, y'all. I like this pack more so for the items and not really like the cars themselves. I like the couches that come with it, and I also like that lamp that comes with it. I use it in a lot of my builds, and I also like the little record player rug. It's really cool. Now, again, I don't really ever use the cars that come with this pack because they're nice, but like, I don't know. I feel like some of them are like heavily themed or like retro looking, and it's not really my personal aesthetic, so I don't really use the cars from this pack that much, but I love the build and buy mode. And also, there's a couple of nice cast pieces too. Like, there's a really nice suit for male Sims. There's like this race car outfit for the female Sims I like to use. So I definitely get a lot of use out of this pack. So next up, we have Generations. Honestly, do I even need to go into detail with this one, y'all? Generations is literally just one of the best packs in my opinion. I love family gameplay. I love playing generationally where we have like, you know, one or two Sims when we start out. We have like a big family with like a bunch of lore. Now, I will say this though. The imaginary friends, while I love them, are broken, buggy, and they will really mess your game up. I've had them mess my game up before. It is not fun. I don't like it, but I love the idea of the imaginary friends, and I love having them and turning them real. It's a really cool feature. I wish we would have got like a more functional prom and graduation, because we have bachelor and bachelorette parties that you can actually do, but prom and graduation are rabbit holes, and also you have like after school clubs and stuff, which is also a rabbit hole, like, and field trips and stuff. I kind of would have wished that that kind of stuff would have been like more functional, or at least in the base game. It's like you get these cool features, but they're all like rabbit holes. So in my opinion, It could have just been in the base game, especially graduation, right? Like, at the very least, graduation in the base game, you know? I do like the daycare career. It is kind of weird sometimes, though, like, for me personally, my sim will do it, and then, like, eventually nobody will come because there's no kids in the world, so maybe that's just a my game issue, but I have noticed it. In all, it is a good package. It does not come with the world or anything like that, but I think the gameplay is good enough for me, so for me, it's a S tier pack. Next up, we have high-end loft stuff, y'all. Ooh, we're gonna put this down in the D tier. I think for me, I just forget this pack exists. I don't really like it that much. The idea behind this pack is like nice modern stuff, but it's more modern for like 2009 or 10 standards. Like, you know, still nice, but not really like today's modern. A lot of the stuff is like really big and bulky, and I just don't really like it that much. I will say I do like the treadmill that comes with this pack, but like the TV, for example, I don't like it. A couple of the bookshelves I do like, but the majority of this pack I kind of forget about. I don't really like that kind of thing. And also too, I think what it was is when I got this pack, it came with the Sims base game as well as Late Night, and honestly I use Late Night way more than I use this pack, so for me it's forgettable. Not my favorite. We're going to put it down here in the D tier. Next up, we have Into the Future. Into the Future, I think, is a C tier pack for me. It's not horrible. I genuinely love it. The plumb bots themselves are like my most used thing from this pack. It's such a cool feature, y'all, because you can basically get a robot and you can make them do a lot of stuff. It depends on like what trait chip they have though. So for me and my gameplay, since I do a lot of generational gameplay, I like to get my plumb bots to be like nannies and gardeners, and they can clean the house and fix things around the house if they break down. The gameplay itself is really nice too. I like having the idea of going into the future and you're like seeing your Sims descendants and stuff like that. But the reason why I'm putting this down here in the C tier is because I don't really ever go into the future that much. Like, I don't use Oasis Landing at all. I think it comes down to like two things. One, I don't really travel that much in The Sims 3. Like, you know, like I don't go have my Sims go to university that much or into the future or on the world adventures. Like, that's just not something that my Sims do a lot. Also too, traveling in The Sims 3 can be kind of risky because the more you travel and go to more places, the bigger your save file gets. The bigger your save file gets, the harder it is for your game to like function properly. It can get bloat. Sometimes it won't save. It's just like a big issue, honestly. And I've had issues in the past where I tried to go into the future and then my game just kept crashing. It was really annoying. You know, it's not an A tier pack for me or an S tier pack, but I do think it's really nice, especially if you just want to have something to do, you know, in your free time. So it's not a bad pack by any means, but it's just not my favorite personally. So I'm going to put this one down here in the C tier. Also, it was like the last pack for The Sims 3, by the way. So the title Into the Future was very fitting. You know, we went into the future for Sims 4. But next up, we have Island Paradise. It's a D tier pack, y'all. You know what it is? I like the pack, but I just don't think about it that much. I think it's because of the performance. Like, this pack just lags really, really bad for me. It doesn't matter if I have like the mods installed or if I delete the houseboats or delete this family or that family. I still have issues with this world. I do like the resort feature. That's one of the cool things I do like about The Sims 3, how you can have like gameplay features that aren't tied to specific worlds. So if you wanted to play in a custom world or like Sunlit Tides or Sunset Valley, you could just take the resort system, build a resort or place like a rabbit hole down or something like that. So I like the idea of taking like the features from this pack and moving them to other packs. So like, you know, I like my Sims to snorkel and, you know, go underneath the water and stuff, or dive lots. All that stuff is cool. I just don't do it in Isla Paradiso, if that makes sense. You know, the pack itself is really nice. I love the way it looks. I just wish it functioned and worked a little bit better. Mermaids are also kind of cool too. But because of the lag and stuff, it's a D tier pack for me, okay? Sorry if you really like it. I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't like it. I just wish it was better for performance. Moving on, we have Katy Perry Sweet Treats, y'all. Oof, I'm gonna put this one in the C tier, I fear. Listen, I understand why people don't like this pack, and I agree. For one, if you didn't know, when this pack first came out, I think it was like $30. And if you didn't know, stuff packs for Sims 3 were like $20, which is kind of steep in my opinion, because stuff packs themselves, they don't really come with like any new gameplay objects. It's just reskinned items that you already have, like a bed or a couch. So the fact that you had to pay an additional $10 for literally more or less the same thing is kind of wild to me. I think this pack works really well with Showtime, but I never think to combine these. I use a lot of custom content, so I'm not really using the clothes from this pack that much. But the only reason, y'all, this is not in the D tier pack is because I can find use for the items, okay? If y'all don't know, I'm a builder. I love to build in The Sims. So every year around Christmas time, I like to build a gingerbread house on my channel. I can leave the playlist for it if you want to watch it, but every year since I started my channel, I've built a gingerbread house. So I like to use this pack because it comes with this wallpaper that I like to use. And I like to use like a lot of the items because, you know, gingerbread houses are like made out of candy and stuff and sweets. So, you know, sweet treats, it kind of goes hand in hand with it. Aside from that, this pack does come with some really cool items for kids. You have playground equipment and some toys and stuff. So there are ways you can get use out of this pack, but it's just not my favorite, y'all. Also, too, there's only like one masculine outfit in the whole entire pack. Like everything else is for like the feminine Sims. There's nothing for the male Sims, y'all. The only thing there is like a top and a bottom. They could at least gave us like something else, like another t-shirt, some pants, but no, we get one top and one bottom and that's it. So for all those reasons, I'm gonna put this in the C tier, y'all. It's not a horrible pack, but like, it's not my first buy. Next up, we have Late Night. I'm gonna put Late Night, y'all, in the A tier. The only reason why I'm not putting this up here in the S class is because I don't really ever play in Bridgeport that much. Bridgeport, which is the world that came with this pack, by the way, it has so many like weird routing things where Sims will try to walk somewhere, they'll take a bike, they'll take a taxi, they'll take a subway. I feel like Sims get confused when they want to go from point A to point B, and it's kind of jarring in a way. I'm like, literally, just get to where you need to go. Also, too, I've had like Sims live outside of the city, like in those little houses, and then like when the kids would try to go to school, it would take them like almost 2 hours to get to school because Bridgeport and like the bridge and stuff. So that was kind of annoying. But aside from that, I do like Late Night because I do like the bar system. I think the bars is like my most used thing from the pack. The bars themselves I love the bar system. The fame system, on the other hand, is not my favorite, y'all. I wish they would have put the fame system in Showtime. In my opinion, that would have helped out a lot. I think this pack would have been better if it was just nightlife, you know, maybe not with like celebrities per se, but like, you know, maybe like notables townies or something, but they don't have to be celebrities flat out. I think if it was just like dancing, partying, clubbing, this would have been a lot better. And the fame stuff, I think, would have went a lot better with Showtime, in my opinion. But the pack itself is really cool. I do like the pack for what it is. The vampires, like I said, y'all, are okay. I think it is kind of wild how if you have a Late Night and Supernatural, you have like beefed up vampires, basically. They're like the only occult in the game that we have 2 of. I don't understand it. But anyway, we're gonna just put Late Night in A tier. I think it's a cool pack. Next up, we have the Master Suite stuff. I'm gonna put Master Suite stuff in the B tier. It's not a horrible pack. I like to use a lot of the sleepwear and lingerie. I think The Sims 3 really lacks in that field, especially if you don't like to use store content or if you don't have any custom content. If you just want more like nighttime options, I think Master Suite has you covered. Also, the furniture from that pack is really cool in my opinion. I like to use some of it. The bed that comes with it, I don't use that much, and one of the windows I don't really like, but I do really like the bathroom set and how it has the wood on it. I think that's really cool. So I'm just going to put this one in the B tier. It's not a bad pack. It's not my favorite. It's not my least favorite. I think it's just okay. You know, I can get use out of it if that makes sense. So next up we have movie stuff. Movie stuff, y'all, I'm going to put this one maybe in the C tier as well. I don't hate it. I can get use out of it, obviously. I don't think this is a horrible pack, but it's just not my favorite. I mean, you can definitely get use out of this, especially if you have other packs. Like, for example, if you have pets, you can use a lot of the Western themed stuff. Maybe if you like more spooky Sims or supernatural or occult Sims, you can use like the spooky stuff that comes with this set. So there's uses out of it, but like, I don't know. It's just, I don't think it's a bad pack. It's just, I don't really think about movie stuff all too often. The costumes are really nice, especially if you have seasons and you like Spooky Day and stuff like that. You can have your Sims dress up. But for me, it's just another Sims 3 stuff pack. So, you know, I'm gonna put it down here in the C tier. Next up, we have Outdoor Living. Outdoor Living, y'all, I feel like it's a forgettable pack, but I always like to use the stuff from it, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like most people probably have forgotten about it, but I still like it. I'm gonna put Outdoor Living in B tier. So when it comes to like this pack, the pack idea was like to have nice outdoor furniture and stuff like that. My Sims are more so indoor Sims. Like, I don't really have my Sims leave. Outside of YouTube and Twitch, when I personally play The Sims, usually my Sims never leave the house. Like, they stay in the house. The only reason they leave is because they have to go to school or work, or if there's like something that we actually have to do outside of it. And when I mean they're in the house, I mean they don't even go outside. So Outdoor Living, in theory, doesn't really have a lot of use for me, but I do love the items, y'all. I love the grill set. You can have like a nice outdoor patio. There's a nice hot tub that comes with this pack. The furniture is really nice. Do I think I would have paid $20 for it back in the day? Probably not. I would have probably waited for a sale if there was a sale or something like that, because I still feel like 20 bucks for this, for any Sims 3 stuff pack, is a little bit too steep for me. But for what it's worth, I do like it. Okay, so we're just going to put it in the B tier right beside Master Suite stuff. It's not a horrible pack. It's not my favorite, but I don't think it's like irredeemable, you know? So next up, we have pets. Again, y'all, do I really need to go into a lot of explanation with this pack? Now, I know if you're a viewer that watches me on Twitch, then you're like, CJ, I know you lying. Listen, I love pets, okay? When I play on Twitch, a lot of my pets get taken away. But to my defense, I'm very easily distracted, especially when I stream, because we talk about a lot of stuff. Crazy stuff is happening. So it's kind of hard for me to keep up with my pets on stream. But on YouTube and my own personal gameplay, gameplay, I do a much better job. I love having pets in my game. So for a lot of people like myself, pets are literally just a part of the family, and it's no different in The Sims. I do feel like sometimes it's kind of hard to keep up with pets and play the game, because especially if you have like a lot of Sims in your household who have like things they have to do, it can be a little bit hard to keep up with pets and keep their needs up. But you know, pets for the most part in this game are pretty like, you know, self-governing. They can eat on their own, they can go outside and use the bathroom. You just want to make sure to give them a love and affection, you know, because they really need that. But Pets is a really cool pack. Appaloosa Plains, literally one of my favorite worlds. It has that never-ending fall theme. Love it, y'all. It's so good. I do feel like Pets, however, does put extra strain on The Sims 3. Like, I feel like it kind of pushes the game a little bit, because I've had a lot of crashes with Pets before, especially when I used to play on a laptop. I would literally boot up a new save file in Appaloosa Plains only for my game to crash moments later. It doesn't happen that often nowadays, but I feel like Pets puts extra strain on the game. So I feel like if you're a person whose game can't really like handle a lot of stuff, maybe like think about getting Pets and or Seasons, because I feel like it puts a little extra strain on the game, but that's just my opinion. Next up, we have Seasons. Again, y'all, Seasons is going to be an S tier pack. Again, Seasons, Pets, Generation, and University, they kind of go hand in hand for me. It plays right into my gameplay style, which is generationally. One thing I really like about Seasons in The Sims, just in general, is the fact that you get a sense that time is actually passing in your game. Every day is a little bit different from the next. You know, you have like all the 4 seasons. It's just not day and night, you know, like you get in the base game. You actually get, you know, seasons, and you get weather, and it just makes the game feel a little bit more alive, and that's something that I can really appreciate. A lot of the gameplay is kind of tied to festivals and stuff, so you'll have like seasonal festivals. So you have your spring, summer, winter, and fall festivals that have a lot of different activities you can do. Of course, you can just use these objects outside of the festivals, but a lot of the gameplay is tied to festivals in your world, so you'll have to go to them and do stuff. Not really that big of a deal for me. I like this pack for what it is, y'all. It's one of my favorite ones. I think it's a must-have in my opinion, but again, if you have seasons installed, I feel like it puts a little extra strain on the game, especially for me when it snows and rains, especially when I am streaming and or if I'm making a YouTube video. I feel like my computer is like, CJ, what is it going to be? Are you going to play with seasons, you know, or are you going to like stream or make a video? Because I've had so many crashes with that, y'all. So again, if you have seasons and or pets or both, if your computer is having some issues, you know, maybe you can't have a lot of stuff in your game at one time, maybe disable one of the packs. Maybe you should also think about buying these, you know, if you don't already have them, because I do feel like it puts a little extra strain on the game. So next up, we have Showtime, y'all. Showtime, oof. I'm gonna put, you know what? I'm gonna put this in the B tier. Honestly, y'all, Showtime is like one of my least favorite packs. I think it is my least favorite pack for The Sims 3. The only reason I'm not gonna put this in the D tier category is because I use the professions a whole lot, okay? I use these Showtime careers so much in my personal gameplay and in my like YouTube and Twitch gameplay. I think it's really cool to see your Sims do jobs and stuff like that, and I think that it's kind of cool to have more of those if you don't already have like ambitions. So your Sims can be singers, acrobats, magicians. It's just a really cool gameplay system. It is a little bit repetitive, but I do like the idea of having your Sims have to go and perform, and they have to audition and work their way up from nothing. I will say that I wish this pack had a fame system, or had the fame system from Late Night just put into this pack, because then I feel like you would get better use out of like the Showtime and glitz and glam and stardom aspect of the pack. But for what it's worth, I don't think it's a horrible pack. I just don't like Showtime that much. I feel like Showtime and Late Night are literally two sides of the same coin, like honestly. Like I feel like you just might as well get both of them if you can. You can have genies with this pack, which is a really cool feature, so I like to use those every so often and wish for money and stuff like that. The world itself, Starlight Shores, is nice. I used to play in it quite a bit back in the day. Sometimes I feel like the little mid-section of the world is a little bit laggy for me, but that might just be a CJ issue. But then again, y'all, it is not my favorite expansion. It's literally my least favorite expansion pack for the whole entire game. I just wish that we would have got more, and I don't know. I'm just going to put this in the B tier. Honestly, I should put this... You know what? Can I just move this back down to C tier? I'm going to move it into C tier, y'all. Listen, I know I use the careers and stuff a lot, but, like, that's not enough for me. We're going to put it into C tier. Okay, next up, we have Supernatural, which is an S tier pack. This is, without a doubt, y'all, my favorite expansion pack for the whole entire Sims 3. I used this pack so much. This was one of the first ones that I actually bought when I got the Sims 3, and I have played the heck out of this pack. There's a lot of stuff I've never done before, like the alchemy like career. Never really done it like at all, really. I think I had a Sim become one, but we never got far into it. It's a really good way to make money in the game, but I like to mainly play with this like the occult Sims themselves, fairies, vampires, you know, again, you have vampires if you have this pack. There is also witches, and you have werewolves, which is really nice. I think the werewolves got the short end of the stick though, because compared to like the other occult types, werewolves don't really have a lot to do. They can howl at the moon, they can like dig for gems and stuff like that, but outside of that, there's not a whole lot they can really do. Like, they can hunt in packs, but I feel like the other occults got the better end of the stick, especially the vampires. Like, again, vampires in The Sims 3 are extremely broken, especially if you have late night. Like, you basically get like all the late night vampires and the supernatural vampires. I want to say the vampires from Supernatural are more like classical in the sense of like the theming or whatever, and I think the late night vampires are more like the modern takes or interpretations of vampires. But regardless, I love this pack, one of my favorites. I love Moonlight Falls. I love the aesthetic and the spooky vibe of the world, one of my favorites, y'all. So this honestly would be on my personal like first buy list, but you know, I feel like if maybe you don't like the supernatural gameplay, maybe the first pack I would buy if I was buying all the packs again would probably be Ambitions and or Generations, you know, one of these. But moving on, we have Town Life stuff. I'm gonna put Town Life stuff, y'all, in the C tier. This was legit the last pack that I bought for The Sims 3, and that was like a couple years ago. I just feel like a lot of the stuff in this pack could have just been a free base game update. Like, genuinely, all you really get with this pack, y'all, is reskinned base game rabbit hole venues. So you get like restaurants and schools and stuff like that. Like, it's cool, but like, you have that kind of stuff in the base game, you just get like a different looking one. And of course you get like new clothes and stuff and hairstyles, but like, it's still 20 bucks. And I just feel like for $20 for some reskinned stuff, you could have took that $20 and either bought like a different game, a different pack, or like some store content. So, you know, Town Life stuff I don't think is a horrible pack. Like, I don't think it's irredeemable. I do like how you get more like gem objects and stuff like that, and you get like, you know, some more like chairs and stuff, but it's just not my favorite. It was the last pack legit that I bought for The Sims 3. Moving on, we have University, y'all. University is gonna go in the A tier for me. I would put this in the S tier, but I don't really go to University that much anymore when I play The Sims. And also too, it's one of those things where like I don't like to travel in The Sims if I can help it, because like I said, I had a lot of issues in the past. So University, I don't really use it that much. I also don't like the little performance bar that your Sims get for their grades and stuff. Literally, it always goes down. The only way it doesn't go down is if it's the weekend. Like, any other day, you know, if your sim leaves class, it goes down. If your sim is asleep, it goes down. It's like you're always struggling to keep the bar up. And honestly, I feel like this pack is kind of realistic to real life, because you have to kind of decide if you want your sim to have like a social life, or if you want them to just only study and go to class. Because doing both, while it's possible, okay, I'm not saying it's impossible, you can do it, it's kind of hard, at least for me anyway. So I feel like that's kind of realistic. I wish we would have got like more degree types for this pack, and more like, you know, like assignments to actual homework and projects and stuff like that. So I wish there was a little bit more stuff here and there. Also too, you have like the different social groups, the rebels, the nerds, and the jocks. It's nice, but you know, it's sometimes kind of annoying when it shows up in the main game. It's one of those things for me where I know it exists, but I don't really like pursue it in the main game. It's really cool if you want to play that way in like University, but in the main game, like if my sim is dumpster diving, I don't care if they're a rebel. Like, I just want to get some stuff out the dumpster, you know? Like, if my sim's working out in like Sunset Valley, it's great if they become a jock, but like, I'm not going to play with that personally. Also, you get social media with this app, so that's like a really cool feature with this pack. You can also get like different phone skins and phone cases for your phones, which is kind of cool. But I'm gonna put this one, y'all, in the A tier. It's not an S tier pack for me because I don't really use University all too often, but it's a really good pack for what it's worth, and I do like the items that come with it. And last but not least, we have World Adventures, which is gonna go in the C tier. Again, I don't travel in The Sims at all, really, if I can help it. If I do travel, I'll just use the Traveler mod, and I'll go to like a custom world for vacation and not like an EA world if I can help it. I don't think this was a horrible pack. For one, it was the first ever expansion pack for The Sims 3. I do like how there was 3 different worlds with this pack that you could go to and explore, but this kind of gameplay is not really my favorite. I don't really explore France, China, or Egypt that much. I think it's kind of cool to do every once in a while, but that's just not my personal gameplay, so I don't really ever use this pack. I think World Adventures is my least used pack out of all the other ones. Like, I don't ever really, you know, use it, think about it that much. Also, too, if you didn't know, the tombs and stuff are per save file. Say, for example, I'm playing with the Goth household in Sunset Valley, and they just complete all the tombs in Egypt. Well, if you switch over to like a different household and you go to Egypt, all of the tombs are going to still be completed. So it doesn't reset, it's just per save file, which can be a little bit annoying. I mean, I get why it's like that, probably from like a gameplay technical standpoint, but that is kind of a little bit annoying in my opinion. opinion. But there you have it, y'all. This has been my ranking of every Sims 3 pack. So please let me know down below, how would you rank these packs? What is your S tier and your A, B, C, and D tier? Let me know down below. Again, let's be polite about it in the comment section. This is just my opinion, okay? But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. Let me know down below, what else would you like to see me rank? Because I'm thinking about ranking the townies next in Sunset Valley, because I got a lot to say. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye! Thanks for watching!